So this is when being a mechanical engineer is going to come in handy. Rebecca was sewing this like swimsuit kind of fabric and she got this big old chunk stuck in my sewing machine. So now I just loosened up a screw. I'm going to be trying to take that faceplate off and trying to fix it. Alright, I am using a quarter to unscrew this. My sewing machine actually came with a little screwdriver, but it's too big to get in here. So it's kind of tricky to do this while holding a camera. And once it's loose enough, yeah, there we go. I can just kind of spin my finger around and it came out just like that. So this should pop right out. Ooh, it's dirty. Looks like I'll be giving my thing a good dusting before I put it back together. That's what it looks like underneath. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out. And whew, look at all that dust. I'm going to try to clean some of that out. My sewing machine is all cleaned and fixed. I got myself a cup of coffee. I am going to show you over here. So here I am. I am going to be making a nursing cover today. It's kind of one of my signature things. When I was pregnant with Caleb, I had never heard of a nursing cover or seen a nursing cover. And through that whole, when Caleb was a baby, I still don't think I ever saw it. I think in between my first and second, Caleb and Rebecca, I saw somebody out in public somewhere using a nursing cover and I thought it was amazing. Yeah, I wish I would have had one with Caleb. With Caleb, I would just actually use formula whenever I was in public because I was too embarrassed and shy to nurse him. But now after 6 babies, I'm well over that. So I went online a long time ago, probably 9 or 10 years ago, and found a free pattern for a nursing cover, and then I modified it to make it bigger because I like full coverage. I am not a small woman, and I want to make sure everything is tucked away so nobody can see anything. Sometimes, you know, people can see like your side or your stomach if your cover is too short, and I didn't like that. I wanted everything to be covered, especially as they get wigglier, and they pull on the blanket. I wanted extra room. So I am making a nursing cover today. This one is actually going to be for someone else, not for me. I already have plenty for myself, but I want to show you how I make it. Okay, so these are my supplies. Here I have a yard of this pretty flowery fabric for the outside, and then a yard of this purple polka dotted fabric. That's going to be the underside. They were $3.97 a yard. I got this at Walmart. Then this is the other key thing. This is boning. I was going to show you if it'll focus on this. It's kind of got plastic on the inside. This is what you would find like in a corset. So that is going to go in the front to kind of allow you to be able to peek at the baby without other people seeing. And the last thing that I use are these D-rings. I don't even see the size. Oh, these are 1 inch. I usually get 1 inch, but if I find them a bunch at a thrift store, sometimes you can find them, and they'll be a little bigger, a little smaller. They all work. So here I am just working on the floor. So this is 1 yard of fabric. It's still folded in half, like it came off of the bolt. And I am going to measure. So I want my nursing cover, I think, to be 40 across by 30 down. So my fold is here, and I'm going to measure 30 inches with this tape, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the end. Okay, so this piece that I cut off is going to become the strap. Now I'm going to turn it. Okay. So here's my fold is on this end. So this is where the strap is going to be. It's going to be around your neck. So it's going to be 30 inches down, like going down your body, and then 40 inches across. But I have it folded in half. So I'm going to measure 20 inches this way. So see, I'm only going to cut off a couple inches on the end. and lay out the purple one. And I am just going to lay this one right on top. Put it on this side. I'm going to open it up and lay it right side up. Just get it all smoothed out. And now I'm going to open this one up and lay this one right side down. Match all my corners together. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down and show you. So my boning is going to be 14 inches long, and I need 2 inches for each strap. So I'm finding my seam right in the middle. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then 2 more for the strap. So I'm going to put my 9 inches right here in the middle and put a pin at the end of my measuring tape there. And then my 9 is still in the middle, and now I'm going to go to 18, and I'm going to put a pin right there. Pin it in a couple of places along the outside, just so it doesn't totally come apart. These 2 pins that we put on the top, those pins we are not going to sew across them. I'm going to start like at one end, and we're going to sew everything all the way around, and we're going to stop at this pin. So we have an opening that is 18 inches wide. Our opening will be that big. So now we're going to go move to the sewing machine. My little makeshift ironing board. I have this little small little ironing board that my mom actually bought for me when I went away to college, and I still have it 20 years later. So this is the long piece that we cut off of the outer fabric, and I'm going to fold it in half the long way, and I'm just going to iron it just to make a nice, good crease. I should turn my board here so you can see better. Okay, so I have a nice crease, so I'm going to open it up and then fold it to the crease. And I'm going to iron it again. This is how I do all the strap on the nursing cover, but I also do this for any kind of straps, like for a tote bag. This is how I make the straps. Okay. I'm just gonna flip it around and do the other side. Now I'm just going to fold it back on that crease that I had and just give it one more good iron to make sure it's nice and folded together. And that's it for the strap right now. I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm just going to iron this whole nursing cover. Made sure my corners were poked out. I'm just going to make sure it's nice and flat. Go ahead and iron it down. And I'll iron the middle too, just so it's not as wrinkly and it looks nicer. Now here's my strap. So you can see it's folded here. So I am going to go ahead and sew with a straight stitch down the open side. I'm just going to sew all the way down. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to actually fold about 1/4 of an inch under and over just to make a nice crease on that top. So I'm going to sew across the short one and then I'm going to go all the way down. Okay, now I'm just going to flip it around. Oops. So I just sewed all the way down this edge. I'd say it's about 1/8 of an inch from the end, and now I'm going to sew it all the way down this end. And this sewing on this end is just to make it symmetrical and to make it look nice, to make it look more finished, not to actually sew anything together. So here we have this long strap, but we actually need 2 pieces. So the end that's nice and finished that we just did, we're going to keep that as our long piece. Oh, I got another thread. So now the unfinished thread, the unfinished end, I just kind of fold in half. Maybe I'll measure this for you guys. I usually just wing it. It's about 3.5 inches, maybe 3. We'll do it at 3. So I folded it down 3 inches. Yep. And I'm just gonna cut it off, just like that. So now I have a piece that's roughly 6. It's actually closer to 7, about 7 inches, and then I have the long piece. So now I need to get out my D-rings. I need 2 of them. And I am going to kind of scrunch up this fabric and stick it through both D-rings and fold it in half. So now I'm going to lay my big fabric here. So this is my open end here. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to fold this under and iron it. So since my iron is still hot, I'm going to do that really quick. So I just folded under that opening part. So now here, and it doesn't really matter if you do this on the right side or the left side, I have my piece here, and I'm going to stick it into the opening as far to one side as it'll go. I'm in about that much. So what's that? About an inch? Yeah. About an inch, maybe a little less than that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and I'm going to stick 2 pins in just to keep it there. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the strap, but I want to make sure I'm putting the unfinished end into the other side, about an inch or so. And I'm going to stick 2 pins to keep that in. Alright, and now I'm going to sew on each strap piece right along the edge, only about like 1/8 of an inch away from the top first. And then after I do the top of both of them, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the bottom. We're going to go all the way across. So let's go ahead and scoot this forward. now I am going to go ahead and, so here is my boning. This is a 1/4 inch boning. So I'm going to kind of lay that on there just to kind of see how far down I need to go. If you lay it on top, let's see, I'll stand up. Alright, I just kind of lay it on top and then I look and see how far down I'm going to need to sew. And I'm going to start here and I'm going to keep going all the way across the opening, all the way until I get to the other side of my strap. And that's making the bottom part of the casing for the boning. So now, if you can see there, I have a line on top and on the bottom. So now I'm just going to follow down this line from the strap and I'm going to sew right here and right here. That's just going to, well, sewing right here is actually going to stop the boning so that the boning will stay where it's supposed to. And then on this side it just makes it symmetric, and I like things that are nice and symmetric and I want it to have a finished look. Okay, I am going to measure my boning. I am going to use 14 inches and then you just go ahead and cut it. I buy this boning by the yard. I usually buy a couple yards at a time because I like to make nursing covers as gifts. It makes a great gift and usually other people don't get them. So here's my chunk of boning, and you can see now I have a rectangle where my strap was. So I'm just going to place this boning in between the two things here. You can see it's just going to go right inside there, and I'm going to pull the fabric up, and then I am going to sew right along here with my boning inside. Not even stuffing, I'm just gonna stuff it in as I go. Okay, so there, my boning is in, and you can always kind of bend it a little bit however you like. There's one more thing about the D-rings here. I'm gonna kind of make it look a little nicer. And I'm gonna sew as close as I can here, just a line right here that will help it be a little tighter when you thread the strap in, so the strap won't come out. This is super tricky and you just gotta do the best you can. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So now we are done, except we're just going to do a finishing thing around the edge. This is what our corner looks like, and just to make it look nice and polished, we're going to take this seam right here, or this sewing where we were about 1/8 of an inch around, 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and I'm just going to go all the way around the whole thing, the whole big part of the blanket, and all that does is give it a nice finished look, makes it look, yeah, just makes it look nicer. A little bit more professional. And here we go. It is done. So this is what the outside looks like. And we have this, so you can go ahead and thread it. So it's gonna go like this. And then you can tighten it or loosen it, or the mother can tighten it or loosen it. So this just goes over your head, yep. And then you would tighten it up as far as you want, and this is what it looks like. So you can kind of spread it out. So it's got a hoop here, so you can lift it up and look down at baby while baby is nursing. Well, then it will just lay flat as you're going. And if you can see, I am not a thin person, but this goes all the way around to my back. And if I'm nursing on this side, I will usually kind of make it a little cockeyed, and it will go all the way around to the very, very back. So it doesn't matter what kind of chair I'm sitting on. If I need to lift up my shirt, this totally covers everything, and I love it. So again, it's 30 by 40, and it's wonderful. It's extra large, extra wide, and it works great for nursing. That's it. Making your nursing cover is pretty simple. It would take about half an hour if I didn't have a lot of interruptions and distractions, and I had to clean my iron, I had to fix my sewing machine, and I also had to just clean so I could get to my sewing machine. So if everything is clean and in working order, it should take about a half hour, maybe a bit more if you're doing it for the first time. But that is all there is to making a nursing cover. If you make one for yourself, I'd love to hear how it went.